Hey guys, thanks for visiting Tech Connect. I'm Rivers, and today I want to show you my favorite gadgets for 2016. As you may know, I test a lot of gear to find the best stuff to review here on my channel, so here are my picks from the last year. I'll add links to all the hardware in this video in the description down below. And remember, a lot of this stuff is going to be on the best sale of the year, so keep an eye on it with the notifications in the top of your shopping cart on Amazon.
Number 8.
First up, I wanted to show you something fun before we get into the more advanced stuff. This is a Tetris puzzle lamp. It's in the background of this video and a lot of my videos, and people always ask me about it. It's actually one of my favorite decorations that I've ever bought because it never gets old. You can just configure it in so many different ways. The blocks get their power when they touch other blocks. They're LED lit, so they never get warm, and they use almost no power. My kids love this lamp most of all, and I should probably get them one of their own.
Number 7.
This next gadget on my list is called Tableau. It's a digital video recorder, or DVR, for all you cord cutters out there. This box is different than most other DVRs you may have seen. It doesn't use cable or satellite. Instead, it records free over-the-air programming. It's also free if you just want to use the time recording, but what I'd recommend is the guide service for $5 a month, which gets you channel guides, season recordings, search, and much more. The way Tableau works is it just sits on your shelf in a back room connected to an antenna, a hard drive of whatever size you choose, and connected to your router. It just chugs away recording shows. It doesn't need to be connected to your TV at all. I would recommend a newer dual band AC router like this one from Asus because Wi-Fi has come a long way in the last few years, and a 5-year-old or older router is probably not going to give you much distance. You could always go wired if your set-top box supports it as well. Now, here's the awesome part. Tableau can stream to so many devices. All you have to do is install the Tableau app. Most set-top boxes like Android TV, Apple TV, Fire TV, and Roku will work. Plus, it can stream to phones and tablets from Apple and Android. It can even stream to your Xbox One and Windows PCs, plus more. You can even stream to yourself when you're away from home over the internet.
Number 6.
Next up, we have the Nvidia Shield TV, which is an awesome media player and a great gaming console as well. The Shield TV actually came out in the middle of 2015, but it's been updated several times with new software, which has added a lot of new awesome features, so I'm adding it to this year's list of best hardware as well. Some of the new features include that it can be ran as a Plex Media server, so you can connect a hard drive to it and then stream out your media to other devices in your house. It's also now got HDR 444 color, which means it can display a whole lot of different colors, so it looks really good if the movies support it. This year, the Shield was also updated to Android Marshmallow, which gives you some more options like live permissions, which is basically when an app wants to access, say, your address book, you can deny that portion of the app. They also added the Vulkan API, so gaming will be even better in the future, and YouTube and Netflix will have HDR. It was actually the first box to have Netflix HDR support. And of course, it's got all the great features from before, like Chromecast with screen mirroring that works really well, games, and even video capture to its internal 500GB hard drive. I use the Shield in my home theater room to stream from Plex and other apps onto my projector and watch it on a 100-inch screen. In fact, I like the Shield so much I bought 2 of them. One for the home theater and one for the living room.
Number 5.
I also wanted to mention my pick for a less expensive media player. This guy is called the ProBox 2 Air, and it runs a more open version of Android, kind of like what you'd find on a tablet. You use an Air Mouse remote control to navigate it, and it's got Android Marshmallow with adaptable storage, plus it's only like $100 with the gyro remote. It's a very versatile player. For example, on the Shield, you get about 100 to 250 games and apps to choose from. On the ProBox 2 Air, which comes with full Google Play Store access out of the box, you have tens of thousands of apps to choose from. I have a full review of the ProBox and the Shield, which I'll link in the description down below.
Number 4.
Up next, we have the DJI Osmo Mobile. This is a 3-axis gimbal stabilizer for your smartphone, and it's the best one I've ever used. I've owned 3 of these stabilizers, one for a Sony Action Cam, one for a phone, and this one, and this guy is the best by far. The stabilizer I had for the Action Cam was good, but I always needed to attach a phone so that I could see what the Action Cam was seeing so I could line up my shot. So the question is, why even have the action cam when you can just use the camera on the phone, which is awesome. So then I got a stabilizer for my phone, which was actually better, but it still wasn't perfect. It wasn't quite perfected. It drifted a lot, and it was really hard to aim where you wanted to go. So then I got this guy, and it is like rock solid awesome. So here's some shots from our trip to Maui and Yosemite. First shot was driving, and it looks perfect when you're driving. Just stick it out the window as long as you're not going too fast, it'll be fine. And then this one, I walked up to the edge of the road where there was a nice outlook, and it's just a handheld, like a tripod shot, worked out perfect. And then this shot, I'm just going across a bridge and holding it sideways, and you can see it's just, looks like it's on a dolly. It's just so nice and stable. So here I'm using the front camera, and it works great as well for that. I mean, this thing's so good you could pretty much jog or even run with it and get pretty usable footage. So here I'm in Yosemite, and I'm going up a pretty hectic trail, and I still managed to get pretty good footage. I mean, if you had your phone in your hand, it would just be all over the place going up big steps like this. And I even managed to step from boulder to boulder here and get pretty decent footage, as you can see here. The Osmo Mobile and its app can do a lot of cool stuff. I wish I had time to show you all the cool things it can do, but here are two of my favorites. One is when you hold the trigger button, it locks the Osmo in the direction it was pointed until you let go. That way you can get those straight, almost floating looking shots. And the second feature is, if you put it on a stationary surface and use the DJI app, you can track a subject. So if the subject is you, you could be a one-person production crew. How cool is that? All you need is the Osmo and a phone to start yourself a great YouTube channel.
Number 3.
Another highlight for me this year was the Sony a6300 mirrorless camera. This camera was actually delayed by Sony for almost an entire year, but I finally got my hands on it this year, and it was well worth the wait. It's one of the most popular cameras on YouTube because it takes amazing 4K video. The reason the 4K video looks so good is because the camera uses almost the whole sensor to record the video in 6K, then downsamples it to 4K. If you look at comparisons and zoom in on the video, it looks better than cameras that cost thousands of dollars more. There's also a Sony a6500 coming out very shortly that has 5-axis stabilization where the sensor moves to compensate for shake, so keep an eye out for that camera too. It should be very nice.
Number 2.
We are down to the final 2 items, and these are my top favorite items of the entire year. I've had more fun using them and spent more time using them than anything else. So at number 2 is the Epson 2040 3 LCD projector. This year I put together a home theater room, and at the heart of it is the Epson projector. I read that 3 LCD projectors are the best projectors. When I hooked this one up for the first time, I was blown away by how good it looked. My family and I love watching movies and streaming video in our home theater room, and my kids' friends always come over and want to watch movies in there too. So the entire home theater is made up of just a few components. It's got some comfy couches, a 100-inch screen, an LG soundbar, the Nvidia Shield TV to stream movies via Plex, and the Epson projector. The projector is what really made the experience great. My entire setup only cost about $1,000 too, which is really cheap for a home theater. I'll add links to all the components I used in the video description.
Number 1.
Aw yeah! Coming in at number 1, my favorite tech gadget of the year is the DJI Phantom 4 quadcopter. DJI really nailed it when they made the Phantom 4. It's got a super steady gimbal mounted camera, it's easy to fly, and safety sensors which have saved me from crashing a few times. I love it. I flew the Phantom 4 so much over the last year, and I never got bored of it. It does an awesome job, and it pulled through some gnarly situations that a lot of drones probably couldn't fly. It's a maze. Here's a perfect example. We were flying in Maui, and I found this sweet waterfall, but it was not exactly ideal conditions. It's a very narrow place to fly in, trees all over, and I had to just take it up to the waterfall, then go straight up. It was already pretty wet outside, but while the drone was up, I could tell it was going to rain even harder, and I had to hurry and take it down. And within about a minute of taking it down, it just started downpouring. Anyhow, now I'll include some footage that I shot on the Phantom 4 on my trip in Maui. There you have it, the DJI Phantom 4. It was really fun shooting all this video, and the drone works really well. DJI also has a mini version of this called the Mavic Pro, so you can fold it up and put it in your backpack. And there's also a Pro version of the Phantom 4 with a higher end camera on it, which I'll be getting soon and reviewing.
Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you like this video and want to see more like it. Thanks for watching, and as always, aloha.